Hey there. This is the second part of Odin's story. I have added the first part link in the description, which you can watch and have the continuity. In the aftermath of Ragnarok, the world was reborn, and the surviving gods and beings began the process of rebuilding. Despite the immense loss and destruction wrought by the final battle, there was hope for the future. Odin's sacrifice had ensured that the forces of order and balance had prevailed, and that the world would continue to exist in a state of harmony and balance. In addition to his commitment to maintaining balance and harmony in the world, Odin also placed great importance on the values of courage, wisdom, and honor. These values were deeply ingrained in his worldview, and he expected those around him to adhere to them as well. Odin was known for his incredible courage in the face of danger and adversity. He was not afraid to take risks or face his enemies head-on, even when the odds were against him. This bravery inspired those around him, and he was often seen as a symbol of strength and resilience. At the same time, Odin also valued wisdom and knowledge. He believed that understanding the forces of the universe and the mysteries of magic was essential to maintaining balance and harmony in the world. He was a keen observer of the world around him, always seeking out new knowledge and insights that could help him better understand the complexities of the universe. Finally, Odin placed great importance on honor and loyalty. He expected those around him to uphold their commitments and to act with integrity and honor at all times. This sense of loyalty and honor was central to his relationships with his family and his fellow gods, and he saw it as a critical component of maintaining balance and harmony in the world. His ultimate sacrifice in the final battle of Ragnarok demonstrated the depth of his commitment to the greater good and the survival of the world and the gods, and his legacy continues to inspire and influence the mythology and culture of the Norse people to this day. Odin's perspective on the world was also shaped by his belief in destiny and the cyclical nature of the universe. He saw the world as an ever-evolving cycle of creation, destruction, and rebirth, with each cycle bringing new challenges and opportunities for growth and transformation. As the ruler of Asgard and the head of the Norse pantheon, Odin was responsible for maintaining the balance between the different realms of existence. He believed that each realm had its own unique role to play in the universe and that the gods had a duty to maintain the delicate balance between them. Odin's role as the Allfather was also closely tied to his belief in the power of language and storytelling. He was seen as the master of words and wisdom, and his tales and myths served as a way of passing on important knowledge and values to future generations. Throughout his life, Odin was constantly seeking to understand the mysteries of the universe and the forces that governed it. He was known for his shrewdness and cunning, as well as his ability to navigate complex political and interpersonal relationships. One of the most intriguing aspects of Odin's perspective on the world was his belief in the power of sacrifice. In Norse mythology, sacrifice was seen as a way of appeasing the gods and ensuring their favor. Odin himself made many sacrifices throughout his life, from sacrificing his eye for the knowledge of the universe to ultimately sacrificing his life to ensure the survival of the world and the gods. Odin also valued the concept of fate, or weird in Old Norse. He believed that the events of the universe were predestined, and that the gods could only work within the confines of fate to shape the future. This belief in fate was closely tied to his belief in the cyclical nature of the universe, as each cycle of creation and destruction was seen as a predetermined part of the universe's larger destiny. Another important aspect of Odin's perspective on the world was his relationship with his fellow gods and with the mortal realm. Odin saw himself as a protector and guide to the mortal realm, working tirelessly to ensure the safety and prosperity of humanity. He also had close relationships with his fellow gods, particularly his sons Thor and Balder, and saw himself as a leader and mentor to the rest of the Norse pantheon. In addition to his many other roles and responsibilities, Odin was also closely associated with the practice of shamanism. In Norse mythology, Odin was said to be able to travel between the worlds of the living and the dead, and was often depicted as a guide and teacher to those who sought spiritual enlightenment. One of the most fascinating aspects of Odin's perspective on the world was his deep connection to the natural world. He saw the natural world as a reflection of the divine, and believed that all things, from the smallest blade of grass to the mightiest tree, were imbued with a divine spark. Odin's reverence for the natural world was closely tied to his belief in the power of magic. In Norse mythology, magic was seen as a way of tapping into the hidden forces of the universe and using them to achieve one's goals. Odin was a master of magic, and was known for his ability to use spells and incantations to shape the course of events in the world. Another important aspect of Odin's perspective on the world was his relationship with the concept of time. In Norse mythology, time was seen as a cyclical force, with each cycle of creation and destruction repeating itself endlessly over the course of eternity. Odin was intimately familiar with the rhythms of time, and saw himself as a guardian of the flow of history and the legacy of the gods. Perhaps most importantly, Odin's perspective on the world was shaped by his deep sense of duty and responsibility to his people. As the Allfather and leader of the Norse pantheon, Odin was responsible for ensuring the safety and prosperity of his followers, both mortal and divine. He saw his role as a protector and guide, working tirelessly to ensure that the natural world remained in balance and that his people had the resources and knowledge they needed to thrive. One final aspect of Odin's perspective on the world that is worth noting is his relationship with death and the afterlife. In Norse mythology, death was seen as a natural part of the cycle of life, and Odin was intimately familiar with the process of dying and rebirth. As a god of wisdom and knowledge, Odin was also associated with the realm of the dead and the afterlife. He was said to preside over Valhalla, a great hall where the bravest and most honorable warriors who died in battle would go after their deaths. Odin was said to personally choose who would be admitted to Valhalla, and would reward these warriors with feasting, fighting, and glory in the afterlife. At the same time, Odin also understood the darker aspects of death and the afterlife. He was said to have made deals with dark forces in order to gain knowledge and power, and was even willing to sacrifice himself in order to ensure the survival of the world and the gods. In the end, Odin's perspective on the world was shaped by his many experiences, from his battles and conquests to his wisdom and knowledge of the universe. He was a complex and multifaceted figure, capable of great acts of heroism and great acts of darkness. But no matter what he did, Odin remained dedicated to the survival and prosperity of his people, and his legacy continues to inspire and fascinate people to this day.